on lap number 2.
Oh, here he goes. He's looking down on Ernie there.
He decides that might not be the place to do that, so he backs off.
Oh, here. Oh, man. Now,
backs off and got passed.
You know something? That's exactly what happened. And
that's a replay of last year. When
you don't think Earnhardt's turning into the strategist here, do you?
Well,
can't believe it.
Maybe he
this is not what we would expect from him, I know.
186.6 that last lap.
Terry Labonte leading. First time since '85 he's led in the clash.
And you heard him say in the opening, Ken, they changed motors, they changed the chassis, they've made a lot of changes. Look like it's working.
The 1985 winner of the event comes down out of turn 4. Leading once again, Mark Martin is in second, Wallace is in third, Dale Jarrett up to 4th. Keep your eye on that 4th place car, number 88.
Picked up to 187.7 on the last lap.
You know, and that's down a couple of miles an hour over qualifying speed. So, you know, they're not setting a blistering pace by any means.
Take a look at this. Craven just picked up 2 spots as he moved under Ernie Irvan. Challenges Ward Burton in the 22 to Dick Berggren.
Larry McReynolds is Earnhardt's new crew chief this year. So far, Earnhardt hasn't said a word to McReynolds, who is just standing here in the pits watching television, shaking his head. He said this was not the plan. They did want to go to the front. They don't know what's wrong with the car. They won't let him do that, though.
Boy, did you see Ernie Irvan? He was 3 wide down on the apron and showed a little maturity there. He backed off.
That was a smart move to back off because it backed in big trouble.
Craven got left out of the draft and slid back.
Irvan has a fast race car. Here he goes again. He's going to make it 3 wide into 1. He has a run. He might make it work this time.
Yeah, he's got the position this time, Ned, and there he goes. He's got a fast car, and he'll help the guys up there in front of him if he catches them.
14 cars starting, 16 a year ago. Good field. 1 wild card, Rusty Wallace, for the 3rd time in his career, the wild card selection where they'd have a drawing from the blimp.
Don't look now, but we're coming up on halfway.
Yeah, this one gets your blood going.
It really does. And you know, that surprises me, the 4 cars that are up front like they are. I knew Terry starting on the pole had you know, that's a good place to start, but I didn't know if he could stay there or not.
He's hanging right there, and I think that threesome back behind them have hooked up in single file, and they're gaining on the leaders.
That's the 99 of Jeff Gordon leading that threesome.
You're not going to get away very long if you can keep everybody in line. Everybody will get back together if they'll stay a single file.
There's that trio running just behind the front 4, led by Jeff Burton. You see directly behind him the 16 of Musgrave, and then Johnny Benson. Here's Ernie Irvan squeezing one off on the inside. That's going to move him into 8th. Drop Ward Burton to 9th. Benson stays 7th. Musgrave 6th. Burton, that trio moving in a little.
Yeah. See, that's the worst thing can happen to Ernie. They get side by side, and he's stuck. There he goes. He made it 10.
3 packs of cars as we get down to decide this first segment.
Those front 4 are saying, boy, just let these laps run out, and the next 3 back there are saying, how many more we got to go?
Right. So we need more time.
Mayfield in 10th spot, number 37.
Well, I never would have believed it, but it looks to me like Earnhardt and Gordon are positioning themselves for the second 10 laps.
I think that's exactly what's happening.
Unbelievable qualifying yesterday. And the man on the pole for the Daytona 500 next Sunday is standing by with Mike Joy.
He's the 95 Craftsman Truck Series champ, Ken, and he'll start his first ever Daytona 500 from the pole. Mike Skinner, what are you learning from what you see here in these first 10 laps?
I'll tell you, I can't wait to do that next year. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, he's qualified for the Busch Clash. Any surprises from what you've seen thus far?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Dale didn't get a little bit better start, but he's getting to be a pretty good strategist. This thing is a long ways from over.
That's right. Earnhardt, of course, is Mike Skinner's teammate in Winston Cup racing this year, Ken.
Mike Skinner on the pole for the Daytona 500. And Grissom will start along beside him for Larry Hedrick.
Ken, right now you got Head running first, you got Hart running second, and you got Money running third. See what happens.
All right. Head, Hart, and Money.
There they go.
But there's a lot of heart in that number 2 for sure.
Yeah, and that 88 is sitting there maybe in the best place of all of them. if he's as strong as they say he is, this could be ideal for him.
I don't believe he's as strong as he showed in practice, Darrell. I don't believe that car is working quite as well as it maybe did in practice. And that other group has caught up to him there now, the other 3 cars. So now you have a 7-car draft up front.
Yep. Mark Martin perched right there in second spot. Looked like he was going to take a shot out of 2. Lined it up. Dale Jarrett back there in 4th place, giving us these pictures at 190 miles an hour. You're watching it live. The Busch Clash to start the Winston Cup season. Next Sunday, the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. It's right here on CBS with some 80 cameras. To 80, that's right, to bring you all the action. They continue to move them around in the draft. Right to the outside goes Jarrett.
He's looking up there.
Are we? We're coming up on the halfway, aren't we? 10 laps. I mean, this is the last lap right here.
First segment coming
First
down.
segment. This is where it gets interesting. Who's got what?
Here comes Rusty trying to make a move. Or Mark Martin had gotten around Rusty Wallace, and he's trying to make a move. He wants the Ford to win it, but I don't think he's going to win his first segment. Terry Labonte has him covered.
Terry's got him covered this time.
Down they come to complete the first half into the line, and to start dead last will be Terry Labonte. Right with him comes Martin to the outside, Chevy and Ford across the stripe with Rusty Wallace in 3rd. Well, it'll be interesting to see what'll happen with those guys that were out back in this one.
Now you see they'll be able to come in, make a pit stop, and service those cars, make some changes. Some of them will certainly want to do that, and see if they can do better the next one.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1997 Busch Clash continues after this message and a word from your local station.
So I think he was probably just doing what we thought he'd do and get himself up front in the second half.
Ward Burton is in 4th. Jeremy Mayfield 5th in the 37.
On it the last time when we pitted.
Boy, Terry can't make. He's not going anywhere. Terry got what he wanted. I won the first segment. Y'all can have the second.
Got his 30,000.
That's right. I had a good show. Made my sponsor happy.
Listening to Todd Parrott trying to bring the 88 of Jarrett around. As Gordon continues to lead. Wallace number 2 in 2nd, and Earnhardt number 3 secures 3rd. And there's about a 2-car length interval between 3rd and 4th position as they come down out of 4.
You got to be impressed with Ward Burton and Jeremy Mayfield. I mean, those are young guys that are very inexperienced in this race.
Back in 6th, Jarrett. 7th, Benson.
Benson doing a great job also. This is his first Busch Clash.
3 Pontiacs came out from the start. Now take a look up in front. Here is Gordon leading. Gets himself about a 1-car length advantage off that critical second turn. If you can get out of there perfectly, get that car to cut right, you can really build that horsepower up in the back straightaway.
I've been impressed with Rusty this week down here. He qualified well. He's running well here today. And, you know, this is not one of his favorite racetracks.
Mike Joy standing by, former winner of this event.
87 winner of the Clash and the 500. He's been in 14 straight Busch Clashes. Bill Elliott, what are you seeing out here now?
Well, it looks like if Russ can turn down on Gordon, I think Earnhardt's going to try to capitalize on that situation. But it's going to depend on if Gordon will give him the room to pull down on him. As I saw in the last race, it's kind of they fought a little bit, but I think Mark kind of gave up a little bit on Terry. But if Rusty pulls down on Gordon and gets it too wide, I think Earnhardt's going to capitalize on that one.
If the front 2 cars or 3 cars stay single file, are you afraid to pull out if you're behind them?
Well, I think at this situation, it's, you know, for the no longer in the race is, I try to pull out, because whatever you lose, if either you're going to win the race or you're going to the back, and you know, second, you ain't going to do no better. So I'd go for it.
It's 0 or 0, Ken.
Absolutely.
Bill Elliott, man who started this race 14 times but not in it this year. Last lap at 188.4.
That's a lot quicker than the first race. And I'll tell you something, people at home may not realize, but that guy in front right now is doing a lot of defensive driving. He's not running the line that he would be normally running if he wasn't trying to hold them guys behind him. He runs the middle of the racetrack. He runs around a good bit off the corner, different lines, seeing if there's anything there.
Jarrett looking on the high side, nothing there, and Ernie Irvin comes underneath him, sets him back, and with him goes the number 6.
Yeah,
another spot, Mark Martin. But more on Ernie Irvin. Let's go down to the pits.
Ken, they're not happy with Ernie Irvin's car. They're not exactly sure what's wrong. Robert Yates said it just won't run. Ken?
Now, he had a thing going toward the front there, and then all of a sudden he got 3 wide going into 3 over, and it looked like took the air off this spoil, and he really sent him backwards. He's coming back now, though.
Gordon continuing to stay on the point, and Wallace, after that first lap move from 12th up into 2nd.
Here you got Mark Martin and Terry Labonte, and they're at the back of the field, and they won the first segment. So drafting and positioning in this race is so critical.
With 7.5 miles to go, you've got Gordon deployed first, then Rusty Wallace right there. Anybody got anything more to show?
I think they're showing everything that they got right now.
I think the biggest thing is going to be what Rusty does to the 24 car, to Gordon. I don't think that Ward Burton will be a lot of help to Earnhardt. And that could be Earnhardt's Achilles heel right now, is the car behind him. Because that Pontiac is just, they haven't shown to be that quick out front.
2 laps to go this time by. Here's Mike Joy.
Mike Skinner, if we've learned anything standing up here, it looks like it's that you've got to have help.
Yeah, I tell you, we did a little drafting practice down here in the winter, and with the cold air box, it seems like you get right up behind a car and it hits the brakes. I don't know if we're seeing a little bit of that right here or not. We'll find out next Sunday, I reckon, or maybe Thursday in the 125.
What he means by that, Ken, is this time the air cleaner is hooked up directly to where the air goes into the engine, and we're taking in all cold air this time, and there's a lot of concern about whether that's good or bad.
Well, a lot of say that's going to be helpful. Not getting any of that heat off the engine itself. Now, as we come down with a lap to go, Gordon first, Wallace second, Earnhardt third, Burton fourth, Ernie Irvin is in fifth, Mayfield is in sixth, Mark Martin in seventh, and Benson eighth the line.
All right, you're down by 3. Give it to Michael Jordan and see if he can sink it.
And see if Jeff Gordon can hold off Rusty Wallace.
Down to 2.
This is the toughest part in the race right here, is when you come off that corner and want to know if you wonder if you got enough to make the move or not, and he doesn't have. That's pretty much a done deal, looks to me like.
Gordon takes us down out of turn number 2. Wallace closing in.
Yeah, he needed to make his move off turn 2 if he's what happened.
It's a done deal when they come off a 2.
Down for the checkers. To the stripe. 3 wide out and back, but where it counts for the big money. Across the line for the checkers. Give it to Jeff Gordon, his second win in the Busch Clash. Won it at 22 years of age back in 1994. Wheels another victory here today. Gordon coming out on top. Wallace in second from 12th spot. Then it's Earnhardt for third. Ward Burton in fourth. Ernie Irvin in fifth. Mark Martin comes across 6th. Dale Jarrett back there in 7th. Let's see. That would, in that last shuffle, Ricky Craven back up to 8th position.
Johnny Benson dropped to 9th on that last lap, and Jeremy Mayfield wound out the top 10 with Terry Labonte, Ted Musgrave, Bobby Labonte, and Jeff Burton rounding out the top 14.
Victory lane's where they're headed. That's where you'll be headed to meet the winner of the 1997 Busch Clash right after this.